Welcome back to B3, Businesses Building Bridges of Flagler County. I'm Shara Brodsky with Sift and Sort, Downsizing and Organizing Company of Flagler County, and my co-partner, Miss Diane Campbell.
Listen to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm Diane Campbell. Welcome everybody back to the podcast B3. And I'm the owner of Boney Booties Beach Rentals and also Tree Trends, where we're big on smalls. And today we have a very special guest with us, Miss Barb Flash, the sparkly girl.
Sparkly girl.
The diva. Barb, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you, and we'll get into some questions here in a second.
Okay, Barbra Flash. I've been with Mary Kay for 22, going to be 23 years in February. I started a Parklane business as well, and I've been in that business for a year. I'm originally from New Jersey. I've been living in Palm Coast now for 24 years, I believe, coming up. And have a wonderful husband who's a retired law enforcement, and a daughter and 3 beautiful grandchildren, and of course a wonderful son-in-law.
Awesome.
How did you get started in Mary Kay?
Well, a year after we had moved to our house, because we lived with my parents for a year before my husband decided where he wanted to go as far as work was concerned, because he had already retired from New Jersey law enforcement, and he was looking really for something different. 9/11 happened, couldn't find a job kind of thing, and he decided he would go back into law enforcement. So we decided to stay in Palm Coast because of my parents. And after we built our house and moved in, my next door neighbor had a Mary Kay party. And I hadn't been at a Mary Kay party, I don't know, since I guess I was in high school. And anyway, I had so much fun and I enjoyed it a lot. And I was actually looking for something to do. And I didn't want to go back into the corporate business world and have to travel and do that kind of stuff. So I wanted to do something that was more at home and something different, something that gave me a little bit more, I don't know, purpose, life maybe. And the woman who did the class that night pursued me, and I kind of looked into it a little bit, spoke to my husband about it. And then one day I just decided, after attending it was a director's, she was becoming a director, so they had this big party and kind of thing for her. I just was listening to these women, and I thought to myself, I must be in another planet, because people are happy here. I mean, this is like a happy thing. And I was like, this is just not real. But yeah, so I signed my agreement that night and decided to go full force. And I've never looked back. I've been super happy. And I think I don't know, I just feel like it's given me a purpose to do things for others. It's, we all want to make money, that's the thing. But I also want to be able to leave something behind that shows that I'm doing something to help other women feel great about themselves.
Before we get into Parklane, I know that you are heavily into the skincare line of Mary Kay, not just the makeup or making women look beautiful with color, but you do talk about the skincare line. If you can go into that a little bit more, and not only about for women, but for as men as well.
Yeah, well, that was the thing that really attracted me. I have to say that I've always had good skin, but always because I took care of it as well. When you were younger, when I was younger, we didn't have SPF. We didn't have any of that stuff.
Oh, my goodness. I remember the beach.
Yes, and we fried ourselves on the
Iodine
beaches.
and baby oil.
We fried ourselves on the beaches in Jersey, and we did so much damage to our skin. And, that doesn't really show up like right away. It shows up later. It shows up when you're older. And it was always important to me to take care. My mother took care of her skin. My mother wasn't a big makeup person, but she always took care of her skin. So that was really part of the passion of the Mary Kay thing, was learning about how to teach women how to take care of their skin. And so, we do have skincare for women over 50. We have a regular skincare line. We have a skincare line for acne. which goes over really well. We have a men's skincare line, which has just been reformulated. And we also have just like a skincare line for younger teens, basically. So
What I'm hearing here, Barb, is that you're empowering people and you're inspiring, or you're in putting confidence in them. So, and what you do is rooted in helping people feel more confident about themselves. Can you give us a story of a before or after that where you helped somebody, either with skincare or makeup, to go from one point to the next?
yeah, I mean, I have several, but one that I can think of was, well, I don't want to do the younger generation. I'm going to do somebody basically like my age. She hadn't really taken care of her skin for a really long time, and she did have a lot of damage. And, a lot of times for women, it's the expense. Like these products, for the most part, are not cheap if you're going to Dillard's and to, using really high-end products. But we don't have a lot of overhead in our products, so our products can be less expensive, but they're not going to be Walgreens brand. You know what I'm saying? So it is going to be kind of a midline type thing. So anyway, there was a lady that I met, and she wanted to do a consultation. And so we did a consultation. We sat down. I asked her what was important to her, what she wanted to change in her skin or her looks, or, what was the problem? What was, because that's what you want to do, is you want to get to the root cause of why they're doing or wanting to have this consultation with you. So she did tell me that she, it'd been years since she'd taken care of her skin, and she needed to look for, now that she was getting older, she needed a moisturizer, she needed a cleanser, she needed things. So I said, all right, let's start here. So that's what we did. We started there. She decided she wanted, the line itself. And then the next time she called me, I called her actually, because usually we call like a week or two after, just to be sure that everything is working good. And she was super happy with her skin. She sent me a picture, and then she wanted to do makeup. So I was like, okay. So it was like, she hadn't done mascara forever. She didn't know how to do her colors. So we did all of that. And, like I said, it's not about the money. It's about how that person felt after taking the time, to invest in her, and what she was feeling and how she wanted to feel about herself. Because, I mean, you can go to Dillard's or any of those makeup counters, and you can have them redo your makeup, but you don't even know what they just did. And they don't care about how you feel about it. And they're not going to call you 2 weeks later and say, hey, how's your skin feeling? How are you doing? Or 3 months later and say, do you need anything? And that's what I do. Your private consultant, basically.
Do you feel that beauty and confidence go hand in hand?
I think so. I don't know. I think
I have to say, I'm going to interrupt because I know so. And I know that from personal experience of being a tomboy my whole life and not really caring about makeup or jewelry or clothing, and realizing what confidence does. And when you have confidence, the beauty comes out.
Yeah.
And you feel from the inside out. And that I learned the hard way. So absolutely, it does make a difference. It makes you feel, I don't know, just.
And I wasn't a big makeup girl when I was in high school either. And I had moms, like this one particular mother of one of my friends. She used to, like, I don't know, sort of, I don't want to say attack me, but it was like, aren't you wearing any makeup? Don't you ever wear makeup? And I go, no, not really. I go like this. I pinch my cheeks. I put a little mascara on. I'm good to go. I was in high school. I really didn't care. I didn't think it was that important. I wasn't like that person that had to have all that stuff on my face, But, as I got older, I realized that that was fun to do too. And it does make you feel, I guess when you're 17 and 18 years old, I feel like you already have confidence. You think you're cool. for most people, for most kids. I think nowadays maybe that's a little different. But back then for me, I felt very confident back then. I didn't have any issues with myself. So.
And I know we were going to discuss how the makeup relates to jewelry as well, going to the Parklane next topic, but and I'm going to let Barb get into that. But I have learned, and it was a statement actually from one of the Parklane videos that I was watching, is how special jewelry in general is. Like you can have, I mean, tons and tons of jewelry that you buy yourself. But when someone buys you something, and every time you put that on, you think about that person, especially if they've passed, it makes it even more special. But when somebody picks something out for you, regardless if you like it or not, it is a special piece. So Barb, can you go into how you got into Parklane and how it corresponds with the whole beauty and elegance of what you're trying to help women be more confident with?
Well, it turned out that Parklane is very similar in its priorities of Mary Kay. And it seems that means a lot to me. So that company has been in business, just celebrated 70 years in business, and Mary Kay just celebrated 62 years in business. So that's really a legacy, okay? And, the grandchildren and great-grandchildren of Art and Shirley Levine, I believe is how it's said, from Parklane, they have built this legacy for these kids right now. And so they've taken on the business. And the reason I felt like, when I started looking into it, I did a party for somebody. I love the pieces that I got. And then, I started looking into the business and looking at what they kind of stood for, what their beliefs were. And it aligned a lot with my Mary Kay business. And then that's where I thought, this would be really awesome, because a woman comes to my house, whether it's a bride or somebody that is going to a party, and she needs makeup, she needs skincare. Oh, I have jewelry. I have earrings. I have a necklace. I have a bracelet. I've got everything that you need other than clothes, and I'm not getting into that business. So, but yeah, I felt like that's really, their priorities are basically very similar. They align the same way, align to the way I feel for myself and why I want to do this. And yes, it does make a woman feel spectacular. Like I've always worn jewelry because my parents come from a nationality where, jewelry is a thing. You give jewelry for different occasions, whether it's a ring, a necklace, earrings, whatever. I've always had jewelry. Okay, good jewelry, not like high-end costume jewelry. But it's still the same thing. You get a gift from someone or you give it to somebody. How great is that? And now I can pair these kind of things together because, I can put a perfume together and, a bracelet or earrings or a necklace or something like that, that would be fabulous. And this is the greatest time of the year for that too.
And I know sometimes people think that, talking about skincare or jewelry is boring, especially maybe when it comes to men. But if they have anybody significant in their lives that, is special, the simplest little bracelet could just make the world of difference. And just a little tidbit about me. My parents also had a little jewelry business of selling real gold. And they used to set up at the Caesars Bay Bazaar. And I used to love playing with the jewelry. And it's just something special when you see people's face light up when they are looking at this stuff and they have these gorgeous lights and the sparkles of diamonds and, even the rings, of course, wedding rings, I think is something that dates back to God only knows when. I don't know. That was the first sign of true love and eternity was wedding bands.
Yes.
Tell us about, you're managing two businesses now, and that's a challenge, but have you had challenges over the course of your businesses where, you just felt like you were at the end of your rope, you couldn't take any more?
No, actually, I haven't had that. I haven't felt that at all. I've actually been inspired. Yes, I've had challenges because I've had challenges these last several months of trying to get back into like my business again. And, so many things that kind of, like I said, I only had started in September. So it's only a year now. And I lost I don't know,
Some momentum.
3 months, I'd say.
no, more like 5 months,
5
because I'm really just getting back into this. So I lost pretty much a whole bunch of time there that I needed to kickstart that business. So right now I have my Mary Kay established. I have customers, I have repeat, orders, like that kind of thing. So that part of it was okay, because that's something that, I can still, I was still able to service my people. But with the Parklane, I was just kind of getting into that. So, I'm trying to do Facebook Lives. I'm trying to introduce people to this new business that I just started that I'm so excited about. And then all of a sudden, boom.
Can we
And
talk
then-
about that, Barb? Get a little personal about what happened to you, because I feel like this is what this is all about, is real life and things that happen to us that help us overcome the people that are in our lives, and how it is a tremendous setback. And here you are today, as if nothing ever happened.
Well, I've always loved horseback riding since I was a kid, loved it. Okay. And I had an opportunity to start riding again, and horseback lessons. So I started doing that in January, I guess. And I went every Friday religiously, every afternoon for 2 hours. It was amazing. And in April, the last Monday of April, because usually we went on Fridays, but the trainer had to reschedule for a Monday. And so we went on a Monday, and on our way back from that trail ride, because it had been really super hot that day, and we were coming back from the trail ride, and the horse in front of me bucked on something. I have no idea what it was. The woman who was riding the horse told me that the horse did some kind of crazy thing, and my horse was right behind her horse, and we were in a trotting position. And when he pulled his head up, I lost my footing on my stirrup, and I don't remember much after that. All I know was I was gone. I heard crunch, and that was it. And I tried to catch my breath a couple times, and so I kind of thought that was it. But thanks to God, that wasn't the last of my my time on earth and the things that I can give to others. So that, it was a process. I was in the hospital for 9 days. I had to have surgery. I had a punctured lung. I had 8 ribs broken, a broken clavicle. So there was just a whole lot of stuff going on. And when I got home, I couldn't even think of anything else, because I just couldn't. I was in so much pain, and I really could barely move or get into a bed or get out of a bed. It was insane. So, but, thanks be to Jesus, I'm here, and I am grateful, and, I don't know.
I have to just commend you, because, I mean, if anybody didn't know the story, you look and
That
act.
happened in the same year. That happened
just a
this
couple
year.
months ago.
Couple months.
I mean, and to see her now, I just feel like there's no way that anyone who doesn't know would never know. And sometimes I know we do go through our own personal struggles.
Right.
But I can say that you are one strong woman. I know that you have a lot of support with your
I
friends.
did. My friends
and your
have been
loved
amazing.
ones. Yes, and I think that's something that everybody needs when they need it, and that's when you find out what your real true friends are, is when you
yes.
need them the
Oh,
most. But you just came back strong. You got your sparkly girl back in, and her diva is coming back out. So this is just an amazing story to know that you can go from thinking that you're dying to actually not knowing that ever even happened. So
Yeah, there's a lot that
kudos
goes with that too.
to you. Well, yes, but kudos to you, because you're the only one who gets up, gets dressed, puts your makeup on,
Yes.
puts all your jewels on to match your outfit, and just show women that they could still show up no matter what
Yes.
they're going through.
I'd imagine there's still healing going on. There's a lot of PTSD. I know after a surgery I had, it took months to get back to mentally thinking that, I can do this. I can still do this. So All right, and we're going to have a bridge question, Barb. If you could describe a bridge that is you, that how you relate to people, to businesses, what kind of bridge would that look like?
Well, I feel like I have opportunities where I can help other women as far as, like, say, even for my Mary Kay business. You know, we have cosmetics and we have skincare. I love the makeup and the colors and all of that, but it's not really my passion. Okay. It's not like I love when somebody comes over so I could do their makeup. Not so much. I'll do it, but it doesn't bring me joy, basically, you know. But I feel like that part of it, even though it is part of my business, can be given to someone so that they can spark their own passion. And for example, you know, I do have somebody who loves to do that. And she doesn't have the products per se that are a specific product, because she uses whatever she has in order to do those makeovers. But we've decided that she, you know, would like to try my products, the Mary Kay products, which I've given her now. And she can wave the wand and you know, and really, and just spark somebody, you know, like spark her own passion where she can actually talk about it. Because in our, you know, group, basically, you know, we have a certain seat and how we do things. And I just feel that, you know, it would be wrong not for her to be able to talk about what she likes to do in that group. And you're stifling.
It's a collaboration.
Yeah, and you're kind of stifling that.
You have,
bridge with her.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
I didn't even realize that until, like, you had mentioned that. And it was like, well, I don't know. Like, somebody else had said to me, well, why do you want to do that? And I go, well, why not? I don't understand. I have all this stuff here. If she loves to do that and she wants to do that, I have my Parklane too, so I think there's enough for everybody.
There's
you know?
always enough fish in the sea.
Yes, there is. I feel that. So
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Well, Barb, we appreciate you being here and sharing from your heart. I know whenever you enter the room, it's hello, beautiful to whoever's there. Mm-hmm. And that is uplifting. Before we leave, can you tell us about your recent cancer? You know, it's pink. It's October.
Yes.
So tell us about
pink
what
today.
you're doing then.
Well, I do this every year, and I loved it so much. And that's part of why I love, like, the company and the fact that I can use that platform to be able to give, you know, to pass it forward. I don't know, to give, to do something for everybody. So every year I put together packages for $30. I mean, obviously you can give more, but $30. And I put certain products in those packages that help women going through treatments. Their skin gets very dry, their lips get very dry, they lose their hair. You know, there's a whole host of things that happen to your body. And so I put hydrating products in those bags. And last year I added, I added tissues, I added ginger drops, so this year I think I'm going to add the little baby Jesuses because I have a whole bunch of them at home. So every little thing that I think of, it's like I add that. So this year I also thought, because of Parklane, I'm gonna introduce that as well. I'm not sure how financially. I mean, I don't make a profit on any of it. All of it is donations that I get from businesses, from friends. But I want to introduce like I was thinking of maybe the necklace with the little heart on it, or, little earrings or something like that, because they get the products. But boy, if they put a piece of jewelry on, how much even better is that going to be? You know, how much excited is that will they feel, So that's like my mission.
I think the business building bridges, especially when it comes to Barb, is easy. It's a little difficult for other businesses, but for you, mostly obviously in the female world, but definitely I believe in the men when it comes to the holidays is it doesn't even matter what it is. Like I said earlier, it could be the most inexpensive piece, but it was just the point that you've made it so easy for anyone to just pick up a piece of jewelry and give it to someone that they love, and how that makes them feel.
And the packaging, like I love to do the packaging, putting the gifts together. That is like a huge thing for me at Christmas or the holidays or anything, birthday, whatever it is. I have ribbons and ribbons and ribbons. Like I love ribbons, okay? Like all kinds of ribbons, because I just feel like it just makes the package look so much prettier, right? It makes it look attractive. It makes you want to have that.
Presentation is key.
It is. So, yeah, so that's kind of stuff I love to do.
Bridges of compassion, bridges of hope, and
bridges of strength.
Thank you, Barb, for being with us today.
Thank you.
One
for
more
having
thing, if
me.
you could just let everyone know how to get in touch with you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the way you can get in touch with me, Facebook. I have Facebook, Barbra Flash, and my phone number is 386-931-6472. I have a Mary Kay website, which is www.marykay.com/bflash, Flach, and I can't tell you what the Parklane one is because I can't remember it. But you can get through me. But you could get to me through that email. My email too. Did I say my email? barbflashmk@gmail.com.
Cool.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It was so much fun.
Yes.
Yay.
And that's another episode of B3. Thank you.
Ooh, yay, ladies.